In my last video, I promised I would come up with an excuse to avoid working on the damaged front end of the GTV, because as you know I have more than my fair share of projects around here. Boy did I come up with one hell of an excuse. This is a 1967 Duetto Spider 1600. Look familiar? Some of you have spotted it in the background of videos and on Instagram, or spotted parts of it, and have asked if the old Spider had come back. It's not actually the white 67 Duetto Spider I rebuilt a couple of years ago, although it could be a twin. It's so close to that Spider, in fact, that it's only 2 digits off on the VIN number. The eagle-eyed amongst you might have noticed by now that it has no engine, and that's why it's with me in the first place. This car belongs to a friend of mine, and although it's a solid example of a Duetto, it's in pretty dire need of a good going over, if it's ever going to be a reliable and usable car. He had it sitting for a few years, and asked me if I would get it back on the road for him, and back on the road reliably. The biggest issue with it was the clutch. It came in with serious clutch trouble, so serious that it was undrivable. But, like the clutch, many of the other mechanical systems in the car had collected some less than great quality work over the decades. The engine and gearbox themselves were fine, it's just that almost everything else needed work. So I thought this would make an interesting video series. Getting a car that's been a little neglected or had some bad work over the years back up and running the way that it should. I get a lot of emails from people who've bought a car that's been in a shed or a garage for decades, or they bought someone else's unfinished project, and they want to know how to go about getting it back on the road. So hopefully this video series can work as an answer to that question. Now, let's take a closer look at that clutch. I pulled this engine and gearbox out quite a while ago, and I know what's up with the clutch, but I think it would be good to show you. You see, someone disassembled this pressure plate and cut out the original bolts that held it together. They've replaced them with standard bolts from the hardware store and added 2 nuts onto each bolt. This is a mess. It won't work, and when the clutch is disengaged, those bolts interfere with the casing on the inside of the bell housing. And even just opening this up, I can smell that the clutch was slipping. The rest of the clutch linkage was also very tired. Like this cable, it's a local production, but not very good compared to the proper part. But worse than that, the pivoting arm that bolts to the underside of the car is very, very tired. The original bushing must have failed long ago, and instead of using a new bushing, whoever fixed this used a section of garden hose instead of machining up something new. So that's the sort of thing I'm up against with the Spider. It's a classic project car with a boot full of parts. The clutch is the biggest problem, but I will be doing work to almost every system. The brakes need some work, like new flexible lines, as I have no idea how old the current ones are. I will also need to rebuild the dealer-fitted brake booster, and that is a whole video in itself. I'm going to have to remove and repair the heater box and sort out all the under-dashboard plumbing, as well as clean up the dashboard itself. I need to get rid of the electric fuel pump and convert it back to a mechanical pump. I need to get the windshield washer system working. And there's some work on the suspension, like new anti-roll bar drop links. The carburetor mounts need to be changed, and I need to find or make a new support bracket for them. It needs engine mounts and new radiator hoses and mounts. Also, the carburetors will need a good cleaning and tuning after sitting for so long. I need to reattach the missing quarter window catch and install a new window regulator on the driver's side, as this one winds up, but it can just be pushed down by hand or gravity. The old Spider had the same issue. It wasn't great for security or comfort. It also needs a new exhaust, and I think that's my list for now. All these things will make for a reliable car that's also nice to drive. This car also does need a new soft top roof soon. This old one looks pretty rough and it doesn't open or close very easily at all. However, that's a job for later on. Right now, I just want to get this car back to its owner in time for summer. There will always be other opportunities to look at things like paint and the roof, but you don't need things like that to have fun. But you do need a clutch that works. So that's the new short-term project on the channel that you'll be seeing over the next month or so, alongside the GTV project. Thanks for watching, guys. I know this has been a little bit of a short video this week, but I thought I would just make a quick little introduction video to this project instead of disappearing for weeks at a time while I get the GTV nose all fixed up. It's turned out to be quite a lot of work. I also want to say thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. It really does help out smaller YouTubers a huge amount. So I really do appreciate the support over there. And I want to say welcome to the new patrons since the last video. Peter Sutcliffe, Lewis, Tim, William Hanna, and Peter Hubscher. Thanks, guys. Your support means a lot. And I'll see you all in the next video. Soon. Not weeks away, but soon.